there.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back here. You're listening to Shannon on Radio TFI. If you haven't figured it out by now, I am John Shannon. Welcome aboard. I've got a couple of things to talk about here for the next hour or so, or whenever, or how long. Over here, over my left shoulder, is my partner in crime and Twitter connoisseur, Diane. Say hi, Diane.
Hello.
She's going to join me here as part of this conversation. Um, she wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to CNN, but she got some stuff off of Twitter as far as Trump's inauguration and what have you. And she's got her thing, a couple things to say about it as we move along, and I will as well here. Unlike the Just Killing Time, we don't have a phone number to call. What I would suggest to do would be to catch us here on the YouTube stream, Radio TFI USA, and send me a little message here. I can reply to that here as well after I read it off. So, uh, like and follow Radio TFI up here, and you'll know if we're going to do something like that again. Man, oh man. By the way, I want to tell you something. If you guys managed to catch the show that Ed and Bill and I did together here, our uncensored version, I want to tell you something. It was the most fun I've had on any form of media, and I've had my own radio show on Celestial Radio and what have you. On that very show, when it was based out of Las Vegas, I remember doing live play-by-play from a strip club there in Las Vegas. That was a lot of fun in its own right. But this was still the most fun I had with Ed and Bill, and I hope to be able to do that again sometime. Were we naughty enough there for you, by the way, Diane?
Yeah.
Yeah. She even put me in a sleeper hold while we were here. It was something I think that ain't gonna happen today here, so I better behave myself just in case. So join us here on YouTube, and we're going to talk about a couple more things. So Diane, you've got some input here from people as far as the inauguration went. Now you brought up something to me that I saw. As a matter of fact, I'll play the video. We'll play that video clip for you when we come on next Sunday. You got to check this out. While Trump and Vance and a few others went to the National Cathedral, the person talking, or I forget what they call it in that particular church, as far as basically the pastor, if you will, the lady in that position, um, asked for Trump to show a little mercy on certain individuals, including transgender and some other people. Apparently, Trump didn't like that too much. What did he put? Something that wound up? It wound up on Twitter. I'm assuming it was something from his Truth Social account.
I asked him how he liked the service, and he said it wasn't very good. It could have been better, etc. Just stuff like that. He didn't get nasty, but basically, my first thing, this was before I heard what the bishop said.
Bishop, that's
Um,
right.
what basically what I figured the reason was because they didn't spend the whole damn time talking about him and praising him. And then I saw that video and I sent it to you, and I thought, yep, that's why, because she nailed him and the Maybelline poster child right to the wall, right there in front of everybody in church.
By the way, Maybelline poster child refers to vice president. God, that puts a hairball in my throat saying that. J.D. Vance. But I tell you, that'll be interesting. Like I said, we'll play that for you Sunday, what she was saying. And I'll tell you, though, he has gone, he's already started the whole thing as far as the mass deportation. Uh, ICE is circulating, pulling people out of schools and churches and whatever else. This is some crazy stuff. That was one of the things the bishop mentioned, was that these are people who are doing the dirty jobs for us. And it reminds me back when I was at my rehabilitation hospital for my stroke, and I had nurses and aides and what have you that come back and take care of me and have to do so. God, I could never do that in a million years. And they were doing a wonderful job. And these are folks that are doing jobs that none of us are going to touch. None of us in our lifetime is going to want to try to touch. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. They're doing things like taking care of produce, taking care of the produce, getting it harvested out of various farms. Now, I don't understand. I don't know if Ohio here is cooperating with this national initiative. I know for a fact, like states like New York aren't, as I understand it. This is going to be interesting to say the least, to see how this winds up going, and I think that, quite frankly, that some of these people that Trump is trusting to be advisors, hopefully they're giving him some sound advice, like chill the hell out, okay? He had to, of course, do what he said he was going to do. He was going to release all the J6 people and what have you. What was that you were telling me? Where was that? Where the mayor of what the hell was it? Oh, the Washington D.C. mayor said that she wasn't gonna start releasing these people. To hell with that, she said. So that ought to be interesting to see how that winds up working out. Trump's going to wind up with a little bit of egg on his face. He thinks for some reason he's got some mandate or something like that to take revenge against people he doesn't like. And I think that he's going to wind up with a little bit of egg on his face. I really believe that. And so I don't know. He's doing a lot of stuff. He's already things like well, when Biden put the cap on some of the medication prices and whatnot. Insulin, which hits home for me, being a diabetic. It's going to be things that are, he's taking these price caps that Biden uh, instituted. And this was the biggest thing that I was worried about with Trump. And he was going to wind up, especially if old Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gets turned loose on the in a cabinet position there in the Health and Human Services uh, secretary or whatnot. You're going to see stuff like that. And you're going to see all of a sudden vaccinate. He's going to turn around and try to steer vaccinations, out of the availability. You're going to see all kinds of different things here that are. I just think that this is just stuff that Trump, it's going to wind up biting him in the ass. It's only going to be a matter of time. And then, of course, he'll be going after the media again. Uh, he's got, he's already got CNN over there fact checking him. Jim Acosta is doing some fact checking on him. Jake Tapper's doing some fact checking on him. So we're going to see. He's already rolled out these executive orders or whatnot, and he uses his big magic marker. I think that's what he uses when he was drawing on the map to tell you what direction a hurricane was going a couple of years ago, and signs his his big bold name in a big black magic marker. And my vision is affected by this stroke. I don't need that just to be able to read his signature. That's for damn sure. But so, anyways, like I said here, if you got something to add to this, feel free to get on the YouTube there, Radio TFI USA. Find this show or what have you, and give me your thoughts here, and I'll ring it back and see what kind of conversation we can have here. Diane, you seeing anything there on the tweeter that is uh, catching your eye?
Nothing different than what I've been seeing all day. There's still a lot of comments about Malaria's stupid hat.
Oh, the hat where she looked like
inauguration.
the frickin' Hamburglar
Well, she
or
couldn't decide
Spot.
if she wanted to dress as the Hamburglar or Spy versus Spy or the hat from Jim Carrey's Zoot Suit from Mask or even the logo for the Pizza Hut.
You could have went either way and gotten it right, probably.
Probably.
What was that you brought to my attention here that you were saying that now I completely forgot about it. You were saying, don't have whatever you do, take care of yourself, don't get a stroke, because then that's the worst thing that can happen is your memory going. That's for sure.
Yeah. But hey, yours isn't too bad. But I got a little message for all the little maggots out there.
Fire away.
You're okay. You're Jesus Savior, or whatever the hell you want to call him.
The orange weasel, you mean?
The orange clown, whatever. There's so many names, it's hard to pick one. Anyway, he signed into executive order yesterday 25% tariffs for Mexico and Canada. So let me explain something to you. I'm not going to explain to you what a tariff is because
They wouldn't understand.
millions of people have tried to do it and you don't want to listen because Trump says something else and you think he's God's law. So, I'm not even going to waste my time or breath doing that. But you guys, excuse me, you morons think you're paying a lot at the pump now for gas. Let me clue you in on something, dickheads. With a 25% tariff, Canada is where we get a lot of our oil from.
Especially Alberta.
Yeah. So if you think gas prices are high now, and Canada's also talking about cutting us off.
Oh, yeah.
Totally talking about cutting us off. And they mean business. They're not bullshitting. They're not afraid. They're going to do it. If they say they're going to do it, they're going to do it.
I was listening to Doug Ford, the premier of Ontario, and he was saying the same thing. And he's also saying, well, to hell with this. They're going to take all the American whiskey and wine and what have you off the shelves. To hell with it, Hell, um, Canada has their own wineries and stuff like that. He's just telling people, hell, buy Canadian.
Yeah, basically. And so, no. And also, another thing you buttheads didn't think about. We get a lot of our produce, particularly
From Mexico.
from Mexico. And if you think you're paying a lot of money at the grocery store now, you dumbasses actually thought that as soon as he got into office, food and everything else was going to be free. Well, I haven't seen anything yet that he's done or signed into law that's actually lowered gas or food prices. Not to mention the fact he came right out right after he was elected, and when asked about what he was going to do to lower food prices, all of a sudden going from, hey, I'll have them lowered within 24 hours of my election, to, well, when prices are high, prices are high. You can't do much about it.
Yeah. Or you could buy a Trump chicken.
Now, I don't see any of you maggots offering to one with this mass deportation. I don't see any of you maggots offering to go out and do all the jobs that these wonderful people have done. And I'm going to say wonderful people because they do the shit jobs.
Well, as I was saying, going back to when I was in the rehab hospital. Look at you remember how many people were there taking care of things. Who heaven knows? Like I said before, I could never done that. I mean, my God, they were. I don't want to get gross here, but they were cleaning up after me in ways you'd never believe. And
they'd work a lot of them would work the night shift all night.
Exactly.
No, I don't see you maggots going out there if there's a mass deportation and picking your own vegetables, making maybe $16 an hour or minimum wage, whatever it would be.
You think they'd make $16 an hour?
I don't know. One farmer got on Twitter, somebody put a video on there. He said $16.50 an hour, and he said, what was it? No benefits, no specific hours. It was a lot of long hours. In other words, you guys wouldn't work for the wages they do. You wouldn't work for lack of benefits. You wouldn't work for not getting any time off. You wouldn't go for working the long hours. And I'll tell you something right now, you maggot farmers that voted for Trump, I don't see you getting off your fat asses going out and picking your own cotton and your own vegetables and produce. You couldn't do it. You absolutely couldn't do it. You couldn't keep up with it. Your shit would start going bad before you could even get it to the market to sell it. And then you're going to go down the tubes. Your farm will go down the tubes.
Well, you think about, we got farms here around where we live that you're absolutely right. If I'm not mistaken, I think we saw a couple of people of maybe Haitian or whatever descent that were helping on those farms or whatnot. Do you think all of a sudden they're going to start pulling them out of the fields while they're harvesting?
It's absolutely ridiculous. Not to mention the fact, oh, yeah, uh, the orange clown and the Maybelline poster child in this family are going to run right out and pick their own produce. I see that coming.
Yeah, I can see his precious wife doing it.
Oh, please.
Vance's wife.
Oh, God. That's another thing, by the way, while we're talking deportation. Ladies and gentlemen, Vance's wife was born. When she was born, her parents were not legal. So her needs to go too. So does, I don't know if Melania's got citizenship.
Birthright citizenship is what they call it. Yeah.
Then there's some of his kids, I believe, because they come from his other wives who I believe were not legal, were not U.S. citizens. So we're talking at least half his family needs to go. All right. So if you're going to do it to other people and to people that have come here and made a living, made a way for themselves and pay their taxes and work honestly and do good jobs and don't get into trouble with the law, that have kids and are teaching them to do all that, if you're going to turn around and deport those guys, then guess what? Half of Trump's family should go, and the Maybelline poster child's wife should go at least. And actually, we might as well talk about the poster boy's two kids.
Yeah.
Because technically, she's not legal. Her parents weren't legal when she was born. She's not legal. And he has a couple of kids. Guess what? They get to go too.
Well, I've said before myself, I'm a child of I'm far from being a child anymore, yeah, but I was a child of an immigrant. My father came from Scotland. I don't know what his immigration status was. I don't know what he had to go through. I don't know what type of papers he had when he came to this country. But I tell you, somebody look at me and think, well, you're no immigrant or whatnot. Well, my father was. I got that same birthright citizenship. Motherfucker, come and get me.
Well, and I'll take it farther. My grandparents were basically born here. Their parents were born in
Excuse me.
Germany and Sicily. Now they came over to Ellis Island and they did the paperwork and all that kind of stuff. There are a lot of immigrants here that would love to do something like that. They want to be legal. They want to go through the proper channels. But because of the process and everything getting slowed down, and now Trump closing that one center where they could go in and get things started, they're all up a creek. And these are people that want to come here, do an honest day's work, get themselves a life, raise their kids, teach their kids good, good things. And all of a sudden, well, we don't like the way you look. Your skin is black or brown or whatever. Hey, go to hell, Trump.
Well, look at this. If they had an app that you could go to, I haven't seen the app. There was an app you could go to if you were looking to immigrate to this country, and you basically fill out, to answer questions and what have you. I don't know what the app was doing for you exactly, but whatever it was taken down.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you something. As much as I like TikTok, we could we could have used that app. It probably worth more than TikTok is, to be honest with you. But
Probably.
that's probably the most useful thing this Trump administration has even done was brought TikTok back. That by far is probably the most useful thing he's done.
And another thing I would like to talk about is with all these pardons of the J6 criminals,
Yeah.
they're not patriots, they are not heroes. Well, guess what? Senators, representatives, congressmen, by these guys being out loose, and one of them even put on Twitter how happy he was, and this was one that was beating police officers with flagpoles and all this other kind of stuff. He was one of the worst ones. And he was so happy he was getting out that he was going to go out and buy guns. And if anybody had caught anything like that, the way things should be is guess what? He'd have been thrown right back in prison, bound, gagged, chained, everything. Now, you senators and representatives and congressmen that were backing Trump and kissing his butt and everything else like that, you put yourself in danger. Because basically, he's given those criminals carte blanche to do whatever they damn well please, and they will do it. Because they know no matter what they do, if they come in, tear up the Capitol, beat up some Capitol cops, and by the way, you put the Capitol Police Department in danger by doing that too. They know they can do anything they want. Come in, shoot a couple of cops or a couple of people in the rotunda or whatever, and get away with it. So, Trump, you just put your congressmen and senators and representatives and everybody else in danger doing that.
Think about John Bolton, the who was part of the Trump administration, and he no longer with his administration now, but Trump took away his protection, Secret Service protection he had, and here Iran was doing death threats to Bolton. John, I forget what the hell his first name is. John, I want to say, but I'm not. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But Trump took away his protection. Boy, and it got way heavy on his head if the Iranians wind up getting to him. That's.
He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't.
It's the same thing as during J6 when he was watching it all on TV and somebody came in and said, "Sir, they're wanting to hang Mike Pence." And he said, "Who cares? Let
Yeah.
them. Who cares?" So, if Mr. Bolton gets killed or assassination attempts or anything like that, he's not going to give a damn. Oh, he'll probably stand up at his funeral and play the, "Oh, I'm so sorry, he was a good guy," because, hey, it's a show. And if one thing Trump likes
Is a show.
is a show because it distracts, he knows that you maggots are going to turn around and he'll say what he's going to do up front, and you won't care because number one, he's feeding your hate, and you think that's just wonderful, and he makes him one of you, and he cares about you when he does that. So he can get up there and he can say whatever he wants to, what he's going to do, that he's going to screw everybody, and you'll come running back for more. Especially if he puts on a big show, because you're like a couple of little 2-year-olds. Bring out the clowns and the balloons and the circus music, and oh, you're well entertained, and that way the big grown-ups can go do what they want to. Oh, and let's see, there was something else I wanted to talk
Oh,
about.
think about this too. This thing that he did at the Capital One Center, the arena out there. He was out there with Musk and what have you, and I'm thinking to myself, Musk came out there and he was all looked like he was all jacked up on something or whatever.
He probably was, the way he dances, and it's like, my God.
Dancing around and put his hand on his heart, and supposedly there are people that are saying they're doing this. I'm still looking at the video every now and then to see if this was, but he gave, and you think this was a Nazi salute that he
John,
put
it
out?
was a Nazi salute. He put his hand on his heart, and then boom, the hand went right up in a Nazi salute. And his people and the clowns people are all saying, "Oh no, it was an accident." That wasn't any damn accident. Not to mention the fact CNN brought it up, and the maggots and Trump's people are all ticked off because they brought it up. They pointed up it was a Nazi salute, and he did it twice. He did it twice. There's even been comments from people, gee, I wonder if he stood in front of his mirror and practiced that. That is an all out no, it's not a mistake, it's not an accident. That was a Nazi salute, and he did it twice. And even if it was a mistake, why'd he do it a second time?
It's no secret that Musk is a Nazi sympathizer, anyways. Especially what is that group from in South Africa? If
I can't remember what their name is. Trump's father was a Nazi sympathizer.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh no, not the way he acts. No, he does everything his father ever told him to do and how to handle things and everything. Well, he sure didn't tell him right how to handle business. He bankrupted himself. Even his casinos, I still can't get over how you bankrupt a
No, that's a license to print money.
Jesus Christ, they print their own money. Anyway, and so when it came to business, his father didn't school him very well on it. The other thing I wanted to talk about was how the maggot morons got left out in the cold Monday. Oh, I'm sorry, but I've been laughing my ass off every time one of them complains on Twitter.
Well, they got brought into that arena.
Yeah.
Did they have to buy tickets for that too? I don't even remember.
Supposedly the tickets covered all the entertainment and the inauguration. But you've got these morons that were running around saying, we can't afford gas, we can't afford groceries, we sure as heck can't afford eggs, spending thousands and thousands of dollars for tickets for this thing, for hotels and everything else. And he turned around at the last minute and said, no, we're moving it inside. First of all, you morons, he fully intended, I'm sure, to move it inside in the first place. Because everybody else has been able to have it, even in colder weather, out on the steps of the Capitol. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, my strong feeling is he planned to do it inside the entire time. Just a nice little intimate group for him and his rich friends and their families. Okay? And a few invited government people.
Well, he'll be able to sit back and say how packed the Capital One Center was while they were waiting for him.
But anytime anybody was calling the line that they were giving or anything like that to try to get their money back, they were being told, well, you could go to the other events. Then somebody put on Twitter that, well, you could go to the Capital One Arena. The Jumbotrons will be there. Then somebody turned around and put on Twitter they took the Jumbotrons down. So they could have watched it in their hotel rooms or at home for free.
Yeah.
Then these people are calling trying to get their money back from the hotels. I worked the hotel business for 3 years. Let me explain
That
something.
dog ain't hunting.
That dog ain't hunting. Let me explain something to you. When there's an event like this, first of all, hotels, especially the really good ones, are going to jack up their prices because, hey, they want to make money. They know how many people are going to come in. Number two, when you make the reservationist, of which that's one of the jobs I had there in the hotel, you have to read a disclaimer explaining, well, you only have, this is your room is such and such, da 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 da, your name and address, this is your last of your credit card. You have until such and such a time to cancel the reservation, or if it's cancelable. If it's not, they will tell you out front there. And in cases like an event like this, you can't cancel. There's no refunds.
Mm-hmm.
There are no refunds. They have no intention once they get your money and they'll make you pay up front. Okay? They got your credit card. If they don't charge you for the first night, just the first night, they're going to charge you for the rest of it too, whether you're in the hotel or not.
Yeah.
So in an event like this, number one, hotel prices are going to go up 3 to 4 times what they normally would have been.
Exactly.
Number two, any amenities or anything, if you go into the restaurants, that's going to go up. Number three, you got taxes on all that. Number four, it's non-refundable.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys again, you were talking about, well, he's making us feel like losers. We're gypped, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he just walked there. Oh, and also the line where they were telling people to call about trying to get their money back. They said, oh, well, you can all take your tickets and they can be commemorative tickets.
I wouldn't wipe my ass with them.
They're commemorative tickets. Consider them commemorative tickets, and you can enjoy everything else. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, my understanding is the maggots are pissed at him because he didn't even show up for the rally the night before.
Right.
He was supposed to be at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Malaria was late as it was. Well, hey, I'm sorry. Her hairdresser probably was late or couldn't get her damn makeup right or made her makeup artist do her makeup again because apparently she didn't look sad enough. And when they had posted that on Twitter, Trump still wasn't there. I don't know if he made it or not. Nobody said. I would assume that he did because I thought I saw a picture of both of them there. But again, he was late for the Commander-in-Chief's ball last night. So this is what you're getting. He was constantly late for his rallies, didn't care. People were dropping like flies right and left, having to be taken to emergency rooms on stretchers. No shade, no water, because he was too cheap to have
back in Nevada, yeah.
Yeah, have the venues indoors. Hell, he hasn't even paid anybody yet for anything. So a lot of people spent all that time, and boom, there you go. Some of them could have died from the heat stroke. There was also another time that he turned around and a bus was supposed to be taking all of them home from the rally, and the buses never showed up. God forbid they had to walk 6 miles to the parking lot to get to their cars, and they still didn't hold it against him.
Well,
he came out with something else, and they came crawling back on all fours with their tail between their legs for more.
They say stupid should hurt. So there you go.
You can't fix stupid even with duct tape.
No, this is true. This is it. This is very true.
But anyway, sorry, I don't mean to take over, but I mean, there's a lot, I just had a lot I wanted to say.
Hey, you're giving me a break. Works for me.
You know, the only thing I see that can be done is we can, just wait. Maybe some of these senators are starting to wake up, particularly the ones he's that are upset about the fact that he turned around and released all those criminals from prison. When they were turning around and and Vance was telling them, "Oh well, it's only going to be the nonviolent ones," and then boom, right on the day he got inaugurated, boom, he released damn near all of them. So now the senators on Capitol Hill are all nervous and going around on CNN and all the news things going, "Oh my God, our lives are in danger. The Capitol Police lives are in danger." No shit. Why didn't you think about that? Why didn't you think about that while you were busy kissing his ass?
No, you're absolutely right.
Going to Mar-a-Lago and going, "What can I do for you, sir?" Kissing his ring, getting on all fours. Again, tail between your legs.
Well, fortunately, this is the last term he can do. Yeah, that's, and I'm still waiting to see if he doesn't try to take a deep breath and say they should eliminate term limits or whatever now for the presidency. I can see that happening.
Well, I will tell you one thing. Still, we've got 4 years of when you wake up in the morning, the first thing that's going to pop into your head is, "Well, what shit show is going to happen today?"
No, then that's actually true.
That's the truth. Everybody's going to be waking up wondering what shit show is going to happen today.
What's one of the first things I have you do when you get done working? You come out and ask if I need something. Yeah, turn on CNN. Let's see what the weasel's done next here, or what he's gonna
Yeah,
do
and
next.
CNN.
You're not a big fan of CNN,
No, I am not a big fan of CNN because every damn thing he did during the election, during his run, anytime he's done anything from the very beginning, they have so whitewashed it. It isn't funny. They've treated it like, "Oh well, boys will be boys."
Well, but you got to realize there are still some honest to goodness journalists there. Anderson Cooper comes to mind. Wolf Blitzer comes to mind.
I'm not meaning all of them because yes, there are a couple on there that I like.
And they have a couple of panelists over there that are big ass kissers for Trump.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, they're not all like that. And like I said, there are.
No, I like Wolf Blitzer. I like Anderson Cooper. I like Donna. Or Dana. I don't know how she.
Bash.
Okay,
Dana Bash. Yeah.
heard it pronounced different ways, so I don't know how she was pronounced. Don't get me wrong, there are some good people there, which is why when you want to watch it, I don't argue with you about it, okay? But the fact of the matter is, for the most part, most of them, except a few, most of them whitewash everything he does and treat it like, "Oh well, boys will be boys." Biden would get up there and go to say something. "Oh, he's such an old man. Look at him. He looks like he's ill." During the first debate, he just looks so down and everything like that. Well, guess what, CNN? The light you had on Trump was different than the light you had on Biden. Okay?
Yeah,
Not to mention the
absolutely.
fact that even though you quote unquote had rules that you wanted everybody to go by.
Oh, you're talking about the debate.
Yeah. You kind of let Trump slide with a couple of things that you wouldn't let Biden do. And Biden didn't even try to slide with anything. He followed the rules.
And the thing is, too, is that Kamala Harris kicked Trump's ass in their first debate.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh my God, that was a royal ass
He
kicking.
walked out of there. She handed him his head by his ferret hairpiece there. He got down on all fours, tail between his legs, and literally crawled off the stage. Yeah, she whooped his butt.
Seriously.
And,
And to this day, I just don't understand. Just do not understand. What was it about Kamala Harris? Was it because she's a woman? Because she's black? What the hell was it about her that made Donald Trump so frickin' desirable compared to her?
well, first of all, as far as with Kamala, all I had to do was put in, well, the reason she didn't win was because all you so-called alpha males voted for Trump because number one, you didn't want to see a woman in office. Number two, you didn't want to see a black woman in office. And number three, you knew damn well that she was going to whoop his ass. Now, what was so great about Trump, according to his followers? He fed their hate, he fed their vanity, he fed their prejudices.
And he's still doing it.
He
He got his presidency back or
got his
whatever.
presidency back, and he also was shoving it up their ass. And the more he did it, the more they liked it. They begged for more.
Yep.
Not to mention the fact that he just was doing all that, putting on a show every darn time. I mean, they were stupid enough to stand there when he was 2 hours late in 100 and some degree heat, waiting on his ass for the rally.
That'd been a cold day in hell before I do something like that.
They're dropping like flies, but they didn't care. Not to mention the fact that Trump knew damn good and well that Kamala was going to beat his ass. He knew it. He saw how her rallies went. And I'm sure his constituents told him too. All of a sudden, after the so-called, I laugh because, yeah, right, assassination attempt and the Kotex mini pad series thing there, all of a sudden, here comes Elon Musk, which I got a feeling he went to Elon Musk, but whatever. Here comes Elon Musk, his money, because Trump's not paying his bills, which tells me he hasn't got as much money. Number one, he hasn't got the money to pay these people, and number two, well, he's a cheap ass motherfucker. He thinks everybody should just let him do anything free because of who he is. And number two, the Muskrat's technology. You can't tell me those Starlink satellites didn't have anything to do with the vote count.
Yeah, now I don't know enough about what those satellites do or don't do or anything like that. It'd be interesting to take a look at it, that's for sure.
Well, according to a lot of stuff that was on Twitter and going around, they were supposed to be helping count the votes. And like, I think it was Rachel Maddow, she said, how did Elon Musk know that Trump was going to win the election 4 hours before the votes were fully counted?
It's a good point.
Not to mention the fact that every polling place where they were in Democrat states, in blue states, or there were a lot of black people and, people of color, whatever, that were not white voting. All of a sudden, there were all these bomb threats and they were evacuating the buildings. They knew damn good and well that these people weren't going to come back and vote. They were going to be too scared. That's how Donald Trump won the election. It was bought for him. It was rigged for him. Everything. Every damn thing. Everything he accuses the Democrats of.
Yeah, but here's the thing, here's the only thing we can do right now. Is that okay, the midterms are gonna be coming up here before too long. All you can do is vote for some somewhat normalcy again when it comes to the midterm elections, somebody that's going to stand up to Trump and say, "Wait a minute, Jackwad, this isn't going to fly." And so that's all we can do.
Yeah, that's all we can do and take it day by day.
Exactly.
That's all we can do. In the meantime, that and hope that some of these senators that are starting to get a little bit ticked off about his policies and these executive orders he's signing and everything else, that they turn around and they wake up for a change, realize it's not worth kissing the ring, and then turn around and fight him on everything.
Here's the thing is that one of the things is that one of the words you heard a lot when Trump was first in office was the word resist. And maybe that's what we need to do is get that word back in our vocabulary. Let Trump know that we, the ordinary citizens, we're not rich boys, we're not redneck weasel, whatever farmers or whatever the hell you want to call it. We're not going to sit and take this shit from you. You're not going to take away people's Social Security. You're not going to let people take away, you're not going to be able to take away women's reproductive rights. I don't know if he's going to wind up trying to do that now or not. Um, I'm not a woman. I don't have a uterus. I don't have any word in that. But all I'm saying is that not everybody's going to agree with you, and not everybody's going to agree with Trump, and he understands that because, like he said, he knows that he's not going to be able to run for reelection. So, all right, you got anything else, Sir Diane?
No.
All right, I think I'm going to kick this in the bucket now for tonight. I appreciate you joining us here on Radio TFI and on the Radio TFI YouTube streaming network. Uh, we will meet again here sometime soon. For Diane, I'm John, reminding you, remember, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. See you later, folks.
Okay.